We're reporting tonight here from Bowman Field. Right behind us, you see the game day set. Up here is Tillman Hall. It seems to be looks like a sorority event may have been taking place here.
Yeah, something like that. There's always something going on these weekends, but
It's Clemson, folks. It's game weekend. It's Friday night. Folks are here in town. A lot of buzz going on. Literally, people buzzing around everywhere. Kids out here playing all over Bowman Field. Families are in town. Moms and dads everywhere. Your mom's in town. She's out here taking pictures. We got our friend Josh here from I Bleed Orange and a whole bunch more folks here in town. So stand by for the next few minutes while we talk a little about Clemson football. We'll review last week's game with Wake Forest. What an exciting finish there, 51-45. And then we'll go about and talk about this week's game and preview this week's game coming up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a storm literally. Either it's on its way or it's going to veer right, but it should be a wild weekend, Gary. I've seen nothing like it, at least while I'm on campus.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's your first experience with game day. You actually you got to go on the Zoom call today and talk with Reese Davis and Holly Rowe. Tell us about that a little bit.
I think just Reese Davis and Holly Rowe, they're college football icons to start off with. Yeah. It was a huge honor to be able to just sit in there and hear their experience. They're very well researched, and they're very eloquent with their words, the way they just kind of they tell a story. And what I think Holly Rowe
paint a picture with
guys, what they said was pretty much this is not only a big game for Clemson, a huge test, but this might be NC State's one of their biggest games in program history. You cannot undersell it.
Top 10 matchup, first time in the conference since the last time. I think Miami was here a couple years ago during the COVID year. Played Clemson. He was top 5, 10. I mean, Miami was 7, but that was kind of a fraud of a team that ended up being outside top 25.
That's correct, yeah.
But this is a real top 10 matchup. The other one, ACC matchup this week. First time in conference history where two teams playing each other ranked against each other at the same time.
Yep.
So you got Wake Forest and FSU down at Tallahassee. You got Clemson and NC State here. The conference is on fire this week. The ACC is absolutely out front when it comes to college football this weekend.
Yeah, Syracuse also is going to go 5-0. They got an FCS opponent on Saturday.
Yeah, there you go.
Knock on wood.
And guess who we got next? I think, if I'm not mistaken, Syracuse, right?
It's either that or Florida State in Tallahassee.
Yeah, Tallahassee. Sorry, you're right. Then we got Syracuse coming into here. But hopefully Syracuse can keep it up and stay undefeated until we see those guys. But guys, who would have thought earlier this year ACC lands one of the top divisions in college football, and right now playing out to be. And I tell you why, quarterback play.
Quarterback, absolutely.
Every team in this division has a quarterback. Every team in this division has a quarterback that's going to end up in either it's an NFL player that's being drafted or on a scout team or one or the other.
You go from DJ, you go to guys like Sam Hartman, Jordan Travis. Athletes. I mean, Schrader from Syracuse has also made a significant strides within his game. A big reason why they're 4-0.
Yeah.
So you look across the board. There's not like
talk
someone
about a transformation. It's like he cocooned out of from a bug into a butterfly, because that kid last year couldn't throw the ball 5 yards downfield, and now he's literally like a 70% passing percentage guy. He's one of the leading guys in the ACC as far as quarterback rating.
Very efficient. When we went to Charlotte in the summer, we listened in on Syracuse. It was the questions were very negative centered, kind of just talking about where are they headed, where's this program's direction, and now that jobs are being saved, program is it's on the upward trend. I think a lot of that has to do
with the infusion of the quarterback and offensive coordinator moving up from Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
When that happened, when the change at Virginia happened, those guys moved up, and those are the guys who can attribute that change to happening with the quarterback and what's happening with that offense. So that's where I see that right there. You point directly at those guys. It's a great move by Dino Babers, he's the head coach who gets all the credit for that one.
Absolutely. And why we talk about great quarterback play with last week's matchup with Wake Forest, 11 total touchdown passes thrown in that game, double overtime. It took more than 4 quarters to get that thing settled through. What a game, Gary. I know me and Thomas got to go up to Wake Forest. You were at CSN Studios watching the game, but looking back on it last week, I still can't find the right words to really summate that kind of football game.
Never expected to see that game turn out to what it became. We saw a game where Wake found a weakness in the Clemson defense, and that would be a lot of guys being out in that defensive backfield when they found a lot of freshmen there playing out there, and the guys out there on the islands by themselves, guys that had to go out there and contribute really fast and learn on the run. I mean, trial by fire. Can you say that?
Oh, yeah.
There was a couple guys that had trial by fire, and that was for sure. And I think they'll be better off for it coming down the road. But it didn't look good, to the rest of Clemson Nation. Now everybody's worried about the defense.
Yeah, and I think KJ Henry put it best. The offense, when they were asked to carry the load in that game, they did. The defense said, hey, we can take one game where we bear all the criticism. I think they'll be better for it, like you said.
Well, I think if you look at that game at the very end, there's KJ Henry walks up to DJ. He's being interviewed by the ESPN.
It's hype.
He's like, he tells you about adversity. That's how you handle it. That's what I think you take away from that football game. This football team, haymaker after haymaker, they kept coming back off the mat, and they returned and they followed up with scores.
Right.
I mean, they literally a team this last year. This team couldn't have pulled that off. I don't think.
It really shows the difference between last year and as well. When you go through all that adversity last year and you go through the punches and you get knocked down, you are able to learn from that. And it's a lot of experience that last year could be more valuable than we could have maybe foreseen. Is that I don't think last year's team would have beaten that Wake Forest if it was that high scoring and that kind of environment.
Again, DJ is a different guy this year. He's a different cat.
Different cat.
He's definitely seen his progressions as he walks up to the line. He's a guy that's making the choices before he shows up to get a snap at the ball. He knows where he's going with the football. You won't find him with his head buried, staring down a single receiver either, even though he's got more than one choice now.
I mean, did you see he was 9 for 11 on third down throws for 209 yards?
Yeah, third down conversion rate was off the chart for these guys last week. I mean, it was great to see that. And that means when it comes down to crunch time, he's making the throws, and the guys are making catches.
How many times was third down where Bo Collins, Joe Ngata, Antonio Williams, the tight ends, all making plays on Saturday?
Had 10 catches for 3 touchdowns. So, I mean, Bringy still had a touchdown. David Sound with 2 big catches for TDs. An offensive line sitting in front of Clemson, 1,000 strong at night. They've been all day. I can think about John State football team. It's going to be one of those games. It's going to be loud in the valley. The weather, from what we hear, you see the clouds above us. If you can see the shot, I'm sure you can see them. This looks like it's going to pass by. We're just going to get looks like the exterior of it. But beautiful day after about 3 o'clock tomorrow. Football, man. I expect a game that I'm going back and forth in my head what the score is going to be, what the game is going to be, but I think it's going to be a hard-hitting football game. I tell you that.
I think it's more of a defensive struggle than teams than I think the media anticipates. The Clemson will respond in a way to get some of their guys. Team is revenge for sure.
Yeah, it's one thing for sure. Revenge. I remember this is the game last year where you lost Will Shipley at the end of it.
Right.
Going overtime, you had no Will Shipley. So